Hi, I'm Wyatt.
And I'm Grace.
And you're listening to our dad and your host of the Vacation Rental Revolution podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Vodyssey Vacation Rental Revolution podcast. I'm your host, Shawn Moore, and today we're going to dive into something that I see as almost an epidemic out there that really, really bothers me, and so I hope you bear with me today. And so I'm going to challenge you to really start to think about what you want out of life. What are some of your goals and your dreams and the things that you say you want? I'm shocked every single day that we talk to people who say that they want something and they do nothing about it, or they give up at the very first challenge that comes about. And this is across the board. This is obviously, we help people build lifestyle and financial freedom investing in vacation homes. And so we'll apply it to that. But really, what we're talking about is across the board. And so I want to dive into that with you today. And so I want you to start to think about some of the things, and this is a question between you and you, right? This is something that you don't have to tell anybody. I want you to think about this, though. I really want to challenge you, and I hope that, because we've all done it, we've all given up on something, we've all procrastinated, which is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. It's just not taking action, right? We're saying, okay, I don't have time, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do this, that, and the other. That's it's one of those lies we tell ourselves, but we've all done it. And so I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot here, but I am trying to raise awareness of now's not the time to give up on your dreams, to give up on your goals, and to give up on or do nothing about what you say is a priority. And I want you to think about where you spend your time. What do you spend your time doing? Think of the things that you say are important. Think of the things that you say are priorities. And if you say, let's apply it back to vacation rentals, and the way that we invest in vacation rentals is it's a long-term investment. We're looking to build lifestyle and financial freedom. We're investing for positive cash flow. We're underwriting deals that can pay us every single month, month in and month out. It's an asset class that we really love because we can compress some time that maybe some of us have lost because we actually didn't start building what we needed to build back when, as young as we maybe wish we would have. And then now we start to give ourselves excuses of why we don't want to do it. And one of the biggest excuses we hear all the time is, I don't have time for that, or I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll do this, I'll do it another day, or I just have to wait till this stuff is done. Just look yourself when you start to do that, realize what you're doing. You're lying to yourself. You're telling yourself that what you say is a priority is not a priority. Back in the day, I used to say, and I don't say it anymore because my wife really got on me on it and really made me feel bad about saying that I don't have time for something. When I used to say I don't have time for something, my wife Teresa, she would look at me and she'd look me in the eye and say, you have time. Everybody has the same amount of time. You have plenty of time. This is just not a priority. And every time she would tell me that, she would remind me, every time I say, I don't have time, I'm too busy. She said, you're not too busy. You're just not a priority. This is just not a priority. So start to answer that. When you start to say you're too busy or you don't have time, start to finish it with, instead of saying I'm too busy, start to say this isn't a priority. And it starts to hurt a little bit. You start to feel really bad when you start to tell yourself what you want to do, what your goals are, what your ambitions are, what you say you want to build. It's not a priority. And none of us are ever sky's never going to open up and open up and say, okay, well, here's more time for you. Time is the most valuable asset that we have. It's the most finite resource that all of us have, and we all have the same amount of it. And so none of us are going to get more time. So you have to decide with the time you have, what are your priorities? And it's okay. I'm not here to change your priorities. I'm here to challenge you to not lie to yourself and tell you it's a priority, but I'll do it tomorrow. You will get done what you say is a priority. You will make time for whatever is a priority. And so that's where you have to look, and this is where it gets hard, is looking in the mirror and say, what am I spending my time doing? I'll tell you, I have an axe hanging on the wall in my office, and the axe is a great metaphor for success. I love looking at the axe. A lot of times I'll pull it off the wall and I hold it, it's heavy, and it's this primitive tool and I live out west, and out west there's a lot of these homestead cabins, and out west we have, I live in the mountains in Utah, and we have 4 seasons. And when fall and winter comes, I mean, it's a hard, long winter in the mountains here. And I imagine these settlers that came out and homesteaded this area, and they came across the plains, they hit the mountains in the west, and they had very limited tools. One of the main tools they had was an axe. And the reason I love the axe is because it really represents four things to me. One, an axe has to be sharp. If you've ever swung an axe that is not sharp, it's almost worthless. You have to take the time to sharpen your axe. And so before you start to swing at the trees, before you start to try to chop down any trees, you've got to take the time to sharpen your axe. And sharpen your axe for me is saying, okay, I'm going to learn the skill sets I need. I'm going to figure out the knowledge gaps I have. I'm going to figure out the work that needs to be done so that when I say I want to do something, I'm prepared to run down that road, and I'm going to sharpen my axe. The number two thing that an axe doesn't do, it doesn't swing itself. You have to take the axe and you have to swing it and hit the tree. It has to have that effort, right? You have to put effort in. None of these things that we say we want, if you're trying to build a portfolio of vacation rental homes and build passive income, and you say, hey, this is a common answer that we get. Hey, what would you like passively as far as your passive income every month? The common answer we get is $10,000 a month. For whatever reason, that's a common answer. $10,000 a month in passive income. I'd really like to build that. Well, if you've never built passive income of $10,000 a month in anything, you have to understand, one, you have to sharpen your axe and learn the skills necessary to do so. Two, it doesn't happen overnight. Otherwise, we would all have $10,000 a month or more in passive income. You have to put the effort in to create what you want to create with passive income. Okay? Number three is if you've ever swung an axe and you've gone up and down that tree and you've hit it in a whole bunch of different spots, you're never going to chop a tree down. You have to hit and take that effort with a sharp axe, and you have to hit it in the same spot over and over and over again. And you have to be consistent with it. You can't start running down, chopping the tree in one spot and then decide, okay, I like this spot over here better because it looks maybe a little thinner. Oh, well, actually, now that I'm chopping that's a pretty hard spot. So now I'm going to move over here. You're just running down too many different roads. And that's the same in life when you're trying to succeed at anything, is when you start to run down the road, you have to have consistency when you're putting in that effort. And the fourth thing an axe has to do is it takes massive action. Nobody can knock a tree down with one swing. You have to you have to have a sharp axe, you have to put in the effort, you have to be consistent with the effort, and you have to put in the work even when you don't want to. Think of those settlers. Think of think of how many trees they had to cut down just to survive the winter, to build a shelter so that they could survive the winter and they weren't going to freeze to death. Do you think in the summertime, when they were chopping those trees down and their hands are blistered, they're hot, they're sweaty, and there's a nice mountain creek right to the side of them, and they would rather do anything but swing at this tree and chop this tree down, but they had to say, okay, listen, I have to do today what I don't want to so that tomorrow, in their case, it was a survival. I mean, it was life or death, right? They weren't going to survive the winter if they didn't do it. That's the problem with us today, though. It's not a life or death situation. For most of us, most of you are having to make a decision to do something you don't want to do today. You're going to have to put the effort in. You're going to have to invest in yourself. You're going to have to sharpen that axe, and you're going to have to do it even when you don't want to, and you're going to have to do the same thing over and over and over when it sounds like it's a better idea, when you've been doing this and it doesn't seem like it's working as well as you thought or as fast as you thought or whatever you thought was going to happen, and you want to do anything but that. You have to take massive action, put in the effort to do it even when you don't want to. And that's why I love the axe. That's what it represents to me. Because when we build this and we're doing this and we're saying, hey, we'll take the example of the $10,000 a month in passive income. I always ask people, have you ever done that? And they say, well, no, I haven't done it. Which obviously, otherwise once you have passive income coming in, you just continue to build passive income. That's the holy grail of financial investments, is to have that passive income. So I love real estate, and I love cash flow producing real estate in particular, and I love vacation rentals because we can compress the time it takes to actually build that passive income up that we all want. But that doesn't mean it's an easy button and it happens overnight. I don't care what anybody sells you in this game. The reality is there's a lot of work involved. And you have to understand the game. You have to understand locations and markets and properties and underwriting the numbers and understanding what the revenue gap is in these markets. Once you buy the property, you need to understand that, hey, this is a growing market. It's super popular. Everybody thinks they're a damn expert. And so you have to stand out in this crowded market. What are you going to do that? I've had operators that are short-term rental investors on my ads trying to talk people out of it because they're worried that the market's getting too saturated. That means they don't understand the game. You have to sharpen your axe to understand the game you're in, understand the game you're playing. And so most people aren't willing to do that. You think the road from where you are today and where you want to go tomorrow, that road is not straight. It's windy and it has bumps and it has scary dragons around every corner, and you have to navigate that. And if you're not willing to put in the work and you're not willing to put in the time, and you're willing to tell yourself that you're going to give up on your goals and dreams, you're never going to make it to the finish line. And you're going to be talking about what you should have done or what you wish you would have done a year from now, 5 years from now. And then there's a small percentage of you, and probably preaching to the choir, because many of you are actually listening to this, who will say, hey, listen, I want to roll up my sleeves. I want to do that. I want to chase my dreams. And I want to be somebody who knows that the path that there is to take. You know, it's shocking to me. We have a high-end mastermind program and a coaching program, a mentoring program, and we charge over $10,000 to join us to do that. And we'll tell somebody the price tag of that, and they're trying to build. I mean, we have multiple members making 7 figures a year in passive income. We have hundreds and hundreds of members making 6 figures a year, multiple 6 figures a year in passive income. Yet somebody's balking at a $10,000 price tag, investing in themselves, but they'll go drop $100,000 on a boat, or they'll go, you'll go on and do all these different things and all these consumer items that really do nothing to help you progress towards your dreams and goals, and you're balking over investing in yourself. Why is it that every single major multi-billionaires, all the top producers around the world really have said in one way or the other, and Warren Buffett always says, but they all say a version of this, the best investment you can make is in yourself, yet we're so averse to doing it? It's crazy. Right? And again, I'm preaching to the choir. You're investing in yourself. You're listening to podcasts. You're trying to better yourself. You're trying to build, go from step A to step B to step C. It's crazy to me, though, how many people, even the ones that listen to us and talk to us, how they come and they've got this misconception of what this game looks like. And I'm here to tell you, it's not an easy road. It's not rocket science. We know the road to travel. We know it's well paved. We've got a process that's easy. What's really hard for us is we can't set your priorities. Sometimes I just want to be like, man, I wish I could. If you knew what you're giving up on, the pandemic or the epidemic we have in this country right now is parents giving up on their dreams and having kids watch you and say, you're telling me to chase my dreams. You're telling me I can do anything I want in this world, yet you're giving up on everything you say you want, you just give up on. Don't be that parent. Don't be that person. Be the person that somebody looks at and is like, man, I'm with you. I want to chase my dreams. Be an example to somebody else. And say, if you say something is a priority, have the guts to tell yourself if you don't do it, and it's okay to make an excuse and say, I don't want to do it. But don't make the excuse and lie to yourself with some sort of an excuse. Say, it's not a priority right now. If it's not a priority, it's not a priority. But if you say you want to do something, whether that's get in better shape, better relationships, build passive income, whatever that is that you say you want, and you say it's a priority, be truthful to yourself and don't procrastinate on it. Take action every single day. Remember the acts. Invest in yourself to learn the game that you're going to play. Start to make that effort. Take action every single day. Be consistent with your action. Don't start running down one road with long-term real estate and then think, oh man, crypto sounds pretty good. It's low right now and it's starting to spike. I'm going to go put some money in crypto and just gamble because I want something for nothing. Or, oh, maybe crypto's going down, so maybe I'm going to go over here and do something else in the stock markets, or maybe I'm going to go do something else over here. And understand that if whatever those priorities are, just go take action every day toward them. Do one thing every day. You guys hear me say at the end of every podcast, Do me a favor. Go pick one thing today. Do one thing every single day that you can do to build the life that you don't want to take a vacation from. That's exactly what I mean. Take action every single day. Be consistent with your action. And I'm challenging you to do so. You cannot fail if you do not quit. If you do and take action every single day, you can't fail. It doesn't matter if you don't take action and you give yourself an excuse, you're quitting on yourself. Don't be a quitter. If you procrastinate and put it off, that's quitting on your dreams. Don't be a quitter. And if you are, and you've done it, which we all have, it's okay. Everybody has made the mistake, myself included. We have all procrastinated. We have all said, man, I'm going to do that tomorrow, or I'm not going to do that right now. Oh, the markets aren't really good for this. That's the biggest bunch of bullshit and the biggest lie people want you to believe, right? Oh, interest rates are high. Inflation's through the roof. Oh, there's a Democrat in office. Oh, shit, there's a Republican in office. Oh, there's a war going on. There is always a reason not to do something. And so you can sit there and say all of these reasons and justify to yourself why you give up on your dreams. Or you can say, hey, listen, this is the road I'm running down. Some days are easier than others. Some days I feel super jacked up and motivated and inspired and I'm ready to go. Other days I wake up and I'm like, man, I just feel like everything is stacked against me. Those are the days you still have to swing the axe. Those are the days that your blisters hurt, your arms and are tired, your muscles are sore, and you still have to do it because winter is around the corner. Have that attitude with it. If it was life or death, would you do it? Why isn't it? Why aren't your priorities a life or death situation? We've all seen the quadrant that Stephen Covey has with urgent and important, not urgent, important, and then urgent and not important, and then not urgent, not important. Most of us spend our time in the urgent and important. Well, the reason things are urgent and important is because there's no planning. You didn't take the time that where we should be spending our time is in the important, not urgent quadrant. And that's where most people ignore, but that's how you build passive investments. That's how you get in shape, right? It's not urgent and important that I go to the gym today. But if I want to stay in shape, I have to eat well today and I have to go to the gym today. I'm not going to see the results from that right out of the gate. I'm not going to walk out of the gym and see the results. If I want to have $10,000 a month in passive income, because we've used that example, I'm not going to do something today that gives me $10,000 a month in passive income. I have to take action every single day to produce that. And then all of a sudden, one day you look back and you have it. Don't be the person that is always talking about, man, if I would have done that, I thought about doing that. I thought about buying that property. Man, can you imagine if I would have bought that property? Can you imagine where I'd be today? Don't be that person. Be the person that's like, man, I'm glad I bought that property back then. I'm glad I took some action. I'm glad I took some action today that produced results tomorrow. Be okay with results for tomorrow. We live in this world with so many distractions and we think we have to have everything right now, right today, and if we don't have it, we're not doing it. I mean, that's what causes so many problems. And be okay with saying, hey, I'm willing to actually address what my priorities are, why I'm doing things, what I want out of them, and then I'm going to sharpen my axe. I'm going to make the effort every single day. I'm going to be consistent with my effort, and I'm going to do the work when nobody else is doing the work and even when I don't want to do the work. And before you know it, you're going to look back and you're not going to recognize your life anymore. And that bar is going to continue to raise. Now what you're doing is saying, okay, I already blew by that goal. Now I'm raising the bar to this one. And I'm looking forward saying I'm going to continue to raise the bar and I'm going to continue to live a life, being the best possible version that I can so that I can be an example to other people. Celebrate your wins. Don't shy away from them. Celebrate them so that other people think it's possible as well. Because sometimes you're going to be a few steps ahead of somebody and they're going to look at you and it's almost like you're putting your arm around them and they're saying, hey, listen, it's going to be okay. I remember when I was where you're at, and it was tough at times. There were things that I didn't like about that process, but I'm here right now, and now I'm working on something even bigger and better, and you're going to be too. Be that person. Don't be the person that's, instead of raising the bar and looking forward, where you're looking back and saying, man, can you imagine? Imagine what that would have been like if I would have bought that property. Imagine what it would have been like if I kept going to the gym for the last 5 years. Imagine what my health would have been like. Imagine what my finances would have been like. Imagine what my relationship would have been like if I told the people that, and I was present with those people that I say are important in my life. I told them I loved them. I did the things every single day. I took little actions every day. Imagine what that would be. Don't be that person. Be the person that takes the action that's raising the bar over and over and over again. So guys, that's a bit of a ramble. That's a bit of a rant for me today. So we're going to wrap this one up. I wanted to challenge you because it really hurts me whenever I hear, and I'm hearing it more often because there's a lot of noise out there and people want you to quit. Realize the big institutions, the big conglomerates, media, government, everything else, they want you to depend on them. They want you to feel like you're scared and there's nowhere to go and you have to have them, or that's what sells. Negativity sells. They want you to drift through life with no plan, because somebody with a definite purpose and a plan, they're the creators. They're the people that they don't have to have the big conglomerates to help them. So that's why I'm challenging you. That's why I'm passionate about this. Is why I care about this, is because I want to see more and more people start to take control of your own life. Take responsibility. Don't look to blame. Don't look to say reasons why something didn't work. Don't look to give yourself excuses of why you can't today, because there's something more pressing. If something more pressing is a priority, that's okay. But if it's not, realize that everything in life, everybody seems to always want to act in that urgent, important, like, okay, I've got to get this done, and it's super urgent because nobody planned for it, right? Don't operate out of there. Just say, hey, that's not how I'm going to live my life. I'm going to live my life chasing my dreams. I'm willing to invest in myself. I don't care whether you invest in my program or not. If you're running down this road, you're crazy not to. We're the best in the business. There's nobody who's even close to us. And so if you are going to jump into this game, sure, we'd love to chat. I'd love to help you. We know how to do that. What I want to challenge you to do today is decide what is a priority, and write down those priorities and say, what action are you going to take every single day to work toward those priorities? And who can you be an example to? Who's watching you? Who are you letting down if you do give up on your dreams? If you're not going to do it for yourself, think of that. Think about who you're letting down. You might not think you're letting somebody down, but somebody's watching you. And it's a shame if it's a child. Because we, as children, we come out, we're fighters. We come out of the womb fighting. We come out of the womb taking action. We're massive action takers as kids. And as we get older and older, we learn from example, and we start to see those people that we love, our parents and those closest to us, start giving up on their dreams, because like I said, it's an epidemic. And if you're not going to do it for yourself, think about who you're being an example to, who's looking up to you, and at least do it for them. And be honest with yourself about your priorities. So let's wrap it up with that, you guys. That is going to be, and then also we're going to have 2 episodes. Remember, we've got 2 episodes every single week now. I've got Tuesday tips and then our regular Friday episode that gets dropped. This is one of our regular episodes on Tuesdays. If you've got questions, ask them to us. Shoot us. You can find us on all the social platforms at Real Shawn Moore. Again, there's a lot of copycats out there, especially on Instagram. Maybe some of you have been. They look just like my platform. We're trying to get that little blue check mark so that you guys know who we are and it's us. But right now, they look really similar. And then they ask you to do crypto and everything else. Just know I'm not going to do that. But find us on the social platforms. Direct message us. Leave us a review if you find this helpful. Share this with somebody. We're a pretty fast-growing platform at this stage on both podcast and our YouTube channel. So if you get some value, share this. It's helpful, and hopefully this episode is helpful for you. I know it's something that I try to remind myself of on a regular basis, and I know that the more noise that's out there, the more people start to sit on the sidelines, and now's not the time to sit on the sidelines, you guys. Most people are sheep, right? And then you've got the wolves and the lions and the people that are going to take action. That is always going to be the minority. Be in the minority. The masses usually don't make the right moves and the right decisions at the right time. The masses, the sheep, get led to the slaughter. Be the leader. Don't get distracted by all the noise, because the noise is getting really loud out there. And there are some amazing opportunities. If a deal underwrites and you're paying 10% interest, who cares? If you're making money every single month and it creates passive income for you and it's building toward your goals, then it underwrites. Doesn't mean every deal is going to underwrite, but understand the game you're playing. Okay? I'm not going to keep repeating. I know I'm rambling. So I'm going to let you go today. So guys, as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for being the best part of this show. And right on today's topic, go pick one thing you can do today to start building that life that you don't want to take a vacation from. Cheers, my friends.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Vacation Rental Revolution podcast. Share this with other people you think need to hear about it. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Hey Grace, is there a website?
Yes! For more amazing content and expert advice, visit Vodacy.com.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.